Hi, we're here at the Dallas International Film Festival with Mark Birnbaum and Manny Mendoza, whose film Dig Deep is here at the festival. Congratulations to you both for being here, and glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now, you're returning to the festival, right? This is not your first time here.
This is not our first rodeo. Actually, I had a film in the Deep-720P Film Festival.
Okay.
That took Best Documentary there back in 2004. Then Manny and I had our film Stop the Presses, the American Newspaper in Peril, at it premiered, world premiere at the AFI Dallas Film Festival. And this year we've got a film in the Dallas International Film Festival, and we're hoping that next year maybe we'll have a film in the Dallas Intergalactic Film Festival. Just keeps getting bigger.
We're working on it. We're moving on up. Well, tell us a little bit about Dig Deep, this year's film.
It was Manny's idea.
I'm a journalist. That's what I spent my career doing, and I was actually leaving my newspaper in 2006. And right before I left, I had met a mural artist named Frank Campagna. I approached Mark and said, I would love to make a film about this guy. Would you help me on it? And Mark said yes, but would I also work with him on a film about the newspaper business? Well, we went off and started doing that one, and really only got back recently to the Frank Campagna film, which is about Deep-Ellum and kind of looking at Deep-Ellum through the eyes of this mural artist, Frank Campagna. And we finally finished it late last year, and now it's playing here at the DIF.
All right, can you tell us about some of the specific events that are addressed in the film?
Well, what happened was back in the 2000s and even earlier, Frank led a project in which a bunch of artists painted murals in the Deep-Ellum Tunnel.
Sure.
Yeah, the Good Latimer Deep-Ellum Tunnel. So when then DART decided they were going to put a light rail stop right there, and they needed to knock down the tunnel. So that occurred, and basically our film chronicles, kind of the sadness of the loss of the tunnel. But the film also has a happy ending because Frank has found a way to put up new murals around the new Deep-Ellum station, so that people that are coming through there now will see his work and the work of the artist that he helps out. Because the thing with Frank is not just that he's an artist, but he owns a gallery in Deep-Ellum,
right.
And he's a mentor to a lot of artists, up-and-coming artists in the area. And so the reason I wanted to make a film about him is that when I met him, I thought, I know all this guy's work, but I don't know who the guy is.
Right.
And he had this long history in Deep-Ellum, so I thought he was a perfect person for a profile.
Kind of a community force. Community
Yes.
force there. So being as, this is a Dallas film, how important was it to have it be seen here at this festival?
It's terrific. It's really playing well to Dallas audiences. It is pretty hyper local. It does apply to other communities that face similar problems where, because there are communities, and it's pretty widespread in Dallas, where they just tear stuff down.
Sure.
And a lot of history goes away. And there was no way to protect this tunnel. It became history. But it is great to see people, for Dallas people to see it, and also for people that aren't familiar with Deep-Ellum. I've had people come up to me since it's screened here and say, I saw the film, and last night we drove down to Deep-Ellum and kind of took a look around. And Deep-Ellum has, over a period of, God, how many years? 100 years probably, since the 1880s, I guess, more than 100, has, it flourished and died back and reborn again and died back. And there was this hope that with the new DART stop, that people and nightlife and business would return to Deep-Ellum. And according to Frank, that's kind of what's happening now.
Yeah, a bunch of businesses have started opening up again. There was a period of time a few years ago when there was fear of crime down there. There were a few high-profile crimes, and people kind of panicked and stopped going down there, and then that led to businesses shutting down. A lot of the nightclubs that used to be down on Elm Street are gone. But slowly but surely, businesses are starting to come back in. There's some new clubs and some new restaurants, and so Deep-Ellum seems to be enjoying a little bit of a resurgence.
Right. Sad that happened at the expense of, the artist's kind of big project. But, in your opinion, just talking about the subject of this documentary, how do the arts kind of work with, city government? How can we integrate that more so things, things like his project, his murals could be protected?
Well, they could have been if DART had decided to run the trains along the old tunnel instead of feeling like they needed to knock it down and build a new route. It's very difficult. I mean, there's a lot of economic forces at work here too, and a lot of time artists, get left behind.
Sure.
This has been historically true all over. People talk about, like, for instance, Soho in New York was a big draw to artists because it was a warehouse district, sound familiar, where rents were cheap.
Right.
But then the art gets cool and real estate goes up, and then people start moving in, and then other businesses that are more lucrative start moving in, rents go up, and the artists can't afford to be there anymore.
Right.
And it's very difficult, and I really don't know what the answer is.
Well, Frank Campagna offers us a great example of how artists can interact with the city. When it became clear that the tunnel was going to be torn down, and by the way, I just recalled that there's a great bridge over White Rock Creek where the DART rail passes over the creek at Forest Lane, and the bike trail goes right by there. There was a great old bridge there, and DART figured out how to use that bridge, which was still structurally sound. Built a brand new bridge next to it for the northbound lane, but they ran the southbound lane right over this old bridge, so it can be done. But the point I wanted to make is that when Frank found out that this gateway to Deep Ellum was going to be destroyed, DART usually spends about $50,000 on art per stop, and they commission an artist, and the artist does some sort of art, mural art or whatever for the station.
Sure.
Frank said, that's not going to cut it. You knocked down a big. They came back and they said, how about 150 million? I'm sorry, $1.5 million. How about $1.5 million? Or was it $1.2 million? Or something like that. And out of that came the new Traveling Man sculptures, the series of 3 sculptures, and that huge one that's right next to the train station. So the city listened and responded in a pretty decent way to reestablishing some art in a really unique section of our city.
And this is kind of what our film speaks to, is that somebody like Frank can organize other people and demand that things be done the right way.
Right.
And I guess it shows that if you're an activist, you actually can get things done. I know people can be very cynical and think, well, there's nothing you can do when the powers come knocking, but you actually can.
Sure. I love the message about how, the new DART stop has kind of brought a little bit of new business and everything back to Deep Ellum, but they are standing up for, this is the character of our community, and we want to preserve that, and we want it to be seen as it should be. And is there a website where people can go and learn more about your film?
No.
Well, is there anything about Dig Deep on your website?
Yes, well, there's a reference to it, and yeah, my website is markbirnbaum.com, BIRNBAUM, and you can actually see the film on Vimeo.
Right.
It's available on Vimeo. Just search Dig Deep.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Cool.
But we want them to come see it here at the festival, really.
Come see it. Yeah. Tonight's the last night. We've had already 2 screenings of it. We were part of the opening night shorts block,
right?
And we're in the documentary shorts program as well, which screens one more time tonight. But you can go to Vimeo, and if you search Dig Deep, you'll find it there.
And I've just got to say that the shorts program that Sarah put together, that we're part of, is astonishing. Everybody was saying afterwards that you see a compilation of 7 or 8 shorts. There's gonna be some good ones, some not so good ones. These are all remarkable films. We felt so great to be in the company of these other films. They're just amazing, and they look so. It's so cool to see your film up there on the big screen. You get used to seeing it on a computer monitor and on television sets. So the projection in the Angelica is just so pristine. It's very, very exciting, and these other films that are showing along with ours, it's just an amazing array of experiences and emotions, and to watch these shorts.
Well, thank you again both for being here, and congratulations. And we look forward to more from you at the Dallas Intergalactic Film Festival, perhaps in the next few years.
Thank you.
You.